I'm going to go ahead and start recording, and we're going to get going in just a minute. Guys, I just want to let you know that I cannot grade papers anywhere but Canvas. I don't want you to send them anywhere else because they get lost, okay? I get millions of emails a day, and I'm being honest when I say that. 60 plus a day are coming in from students, and if I get assignments in Canvas, I can keep those where they need to be. But if I get them through Remind or I get them through my email, they don't get into Canvas, and there's no proof that you turn them in. So please make sure that you turn your stuff into Canvas. And if you need help with that, let me know. It's not as complicated as you think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. And we should be doing consecutive integer word problems. Okay. Also, try to be on time. You guys make it really hard for me to, like, it interrupts me every time it comes through. So try to be on time. Remember I told you when you were in class, try to be about 5 minutes early. It's not going to let you in because I have to let you in, but you can be waiting on me, and then I'll let you in so that I don't have to push time. I only have 40 minutes that I can record, and I'm wasting that right now talking, but I also waste that having to stop to let people in. So again, be on time. So we're going to look at consecutive integer word problems, and at the top, it's just words that that you're going to see. So like for adding, you might see the actual word add. So blank added to, so a number added to something. You might see the sum of a number and 4. You might see increased by, so a number increased by 3 would be to add 3. When you go to minus, you might see subtracted from. You might see the words less than. You might see the word difference. For adding, we can go back to that one. 6 more than is another thing that you might see, 6 more than a number. Divide is really simple. It's either going to be divided by or the quotient of 2 numbers. And then multiply is multiplied by or the product of 2 numbers. Sorry, I'll put it back. You could also see the word times. All right, so all of these numbers, all of these phrases go along with what you would do. So in a minute, we're going to write number sentences or algebraic expressions from sentences. So the one that I want to point out, though, is this one. This is the one that everybody messes up. It'll say something like 6 less than n. If it says 6 less than n, you have to flip it around. It'll be n minus 6. But this is the important one that everybody messes up. So when we go over it, I'll show you. Now, if at any point in time you have a question, what happens is I get on this Zoom, I teach, I stop recording, and then I ask afterwards, if you have a question, let me know. And you guys all leave, and then 5 seconds later, I get 50 emails about, I don't really know how to do this. Go ahead and ask those questions once we finish our Zoom recording. If it cuts out, we'll come right back to this one. So just make sure that you come back in this one, okay? So we're going to look at our directions. They say translate the following into algebraic expressions and use X for the unknown variable. So the first one says 14 divided by a number. When we write that, we just write this one out, 14. And I use the divide bar like this by a number. Okay, so 14 divided by n. You can do it up and down as well. That gives you the same number. So either one of those is fine. How do I do 7 times a number? Somebody answer me. Remember, the longer it takes to answer, the longer this is going to go. 7 times a number.
7 times 10.
And how would I write that? So you guys are seeing 7. Sorry, I used N. I should have used X. Like 7 times X. Can I write it a different way? Like, can it look different?
You could do X times 7.
But is there any way to like actually do the work? Like, is there a different look to it? What you're saying is it could be this. But how could I write that in a problem without using that time symbol?
A dot.
7x.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for, 7x.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. That's why we do it. Don't forget that you can write it as 7x. So this is the one that I want to see. Okay. So here's that one that's 10 less than a number. Remember, I told you this is the one that you guys are going to mess up. So if you'll listen carefully every time we do it, make sure you do it kind of backwards. So that means you're going to take the number and you're going to minus 10. That is 10 less than that number. Okay, a lot of you will write 10 minus x and that'll make you mess up. So again, flip it around. Guys, you've got to be on time. You've got to be on time. X minus 10. Number 4 is 12 more than a number. What does more than mean? Add, subtract, multiply, divide.
Add.
Add. So this one, it doesn't matter what order you put it in. You can do 12 added to x, or you could do x plus 12. Neither one of those matter. They're interchangeable. Okay. The next one is a little bit longer. It says 4 times a number plus 5 times the same number. So let's split it up. Up here, we had 7 times a number, and we just did 7x. So how would we do 4 times a number?
4x.
Perfect. And then it says plus, so we're going to write a plus. How do I write 5 times the same number?
5x.
Perfect. That's absolutely it. Don't put them together right now, but know that you can do that because they're like terms. So we're not going to right now. We're just trying to write them. All right, the next one says the sum of 6 and a number divided by 10. So what does sum mean?
Add.
Add. You're going to add 6 and a number divided by 10. So 6, add. How do I write a number divided by 10? If this one was 14 divide a number, how would I write a number divide 10?
X divided by 4 or 10.
Yes, perfect. Just like that. Great job. All right, number 7, 20 decreased. What does decreased mean?
Subtract.
So I didn't put that one up here, so I'm gonna go back and put it right here. So subtract is also decreased by. Okay, decreased by. So 20 decreased by, or 20 subtract. How do I write 4 times a number?
4x.
Perfect. And then the very last one, 1/2 the product. What does product mean?
Multiplication.
Multiply.
So 1/2 multiply 8 and a number. So on this one, I am going to write the little multiply symbol. How do I write 8 and a number?
8x.
That's it. 1/2 the product of 8 and a number. That's it. Any questions on those 8? All right. Now, on this very first word problem, some of you are not going to set up an equation for it, and that is perfectly fine. I am going to set up an equation so that you can see it. So it says Jennifer has $25. She needs $49 to buy a new outfit. How much more money does she need? So here's how he'd set it up. I know that you guys know how to do this without an algebra problem, and I would fully expect that you do it that way. That is perfectly fine, okay? But this is what it is. She has 25. She needs more money, but we don't know how much more to get her total to 49. So how do you figure out how much money she needs?
Subtract
Yeah.
29 from 49.
And you could have done that without writing an equation, and that's perfectly fine. So somebody tell me how much money she actually needs.
24.
24. I need more than 1 or 2 people answering. This is a class, this is a pretty big class, okay? So she just needs $24. All right. Martha takes her niece and nephew to a concert. She buys t-shirts and bumper stickers for them. The bumper stickers cost $1 each. Martha's niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers, and her nephew wants 2 shirts but no bumper stickers. If Martha's total is 67, what is the cost of 1 shirt? Okay, so be careful here. So she's buying what? What did she buy? She bought a lot, but what did she buy?
5 shirts and 1 bumper sticker.
Is it 5 shirts? How many shirts did she buy?
1.
Here's 1. That was for the niece. What about for her nephew?
Oh, 3.
2. So that's 3 shirts.
Well, in total, 3.
Yes. Sorry. 3 shirts. I'm going to do an S for shirts. What else did she buy?
4 bumper stickers.
So the niece wanted 4 bumper stickers, but the nephew didn't want any. So she also bought 4 bumper stickers. How much did all of that cost?
$67.
Perfect, $67. So there's one more thing. We're not going to have 2 variables yet. We will eventually, but not yet. What other information does it give us?
The bumper stickers were $1 each.
Right here, bumper stickers were $1 each. So this B is going to be a 1. So 3 shirts plus 4 $1 bumper stickers is going to cost $67. Now, how do we solve this equation?
Subtract 4 from 67.
So I'm going to go ahead and multiply those first so everybody sees where it comes from. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we're solving for S, and 4 is on the same side but not with it. So to get rid of a positive 4, we minus 4. That gives us 3S. The 4's cancel out. Equal 63. Now I'm going to stop for a minute and talk to y'all. This 67 minus 4, this is where you guys are making a lot of your mistakes, okay? You might do an add 4, or you might end up making this a negative. Be careful right here. This is an easy part, so we shouldn't make mistakes on that. The good thing is you know this work and how to do the work. The problem is you're making little mistakes like this. So when you go back and look at your quizzes, I tell you exactly where you messed up. That's why I'm having you turn in that work. Okay, finish it out by dividing by 3. And that gives us S equals what? 63 divided by 3.
21.
Yes. So how much does a shirt cost?
$21.
$1. That's an expensive shirt. Any questions on that problem? They won't be this hard. We're not trying to do this yet, but they will be like this. So we'll set them up here and then you'll have to solve them. So the only difference today is that you're actually setting up your problem. And that's it, okay? I'm gonna move to the next sheet. We're gonna set them up and solve them. So we're gonna talk about consecutive integers. Guys, I will tell you that this consecutive integers will be on your final exam. 100% will be on your final exam. So what is a consecutive integer? If you get consecutive home runs in baseball, what does that mean? All my baseball kids. What's consecutive home runs mean?
You get one like every time you come up.
Yeah, back to back. So if they're consecutive integers, that means that they're back to back numbers. So like 1, 2, 3 are back to back numbers. 99, 100, 101 are back to back numbers. If they're consecutive even, give me an example of consecutive even integers. So if regular integers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what would be consecutive even integers?
2, 4,
Like 2, 4, 6.
Just as long as they're in order. Now we might solve them and it'd be 14, 16, 18, but they're back to back numbers. What would consecutive odd integers be?
1, 3, 5, 7.
1, 3, 5, 7. So those could also be negative numbers, negative 15, negative 13, negative 11. You could do those, that's fine. So you'll see that when it comes up here. So your example would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In terms of n, we always start with n. To get from 1 to 2, we add 1. To get to 3, we add 1 again as well, or we add 2 to the first number. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. So then if it's n plus 1, n plus 2, what would this box be? What do y'all think?
N plus 2.
Okay, I have a plus 1, plus 2. What do you think this one's going to be?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. There you go. What would the next one be?
Plus 4.
Yes. Typically, we only go to the first 3. Okay, so on your final exam, it'll just be the first 3 integers. All right, so if we're doing even, and you told me your example was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we always start with n, how do I get from 2 to 4?
Add 2.
Add 2. How do I get from 2 to 6?
Add 4.
Add 4. So what do you think the next one's going to be?
Add 6.
And the last one would be add.
At 8.
Perfect. All right, now be careful on this one. This is the one that trips people up. Our example was 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We always start with n, no matter what. How do I get from 1 to 3?
2.
Yeah, add 2. So if you look, these two are actually the same. What happens is when it's set up, the answer is either even or odd. So you don't have to worry about that. All you need to know is that you add 2 instead of adding 1. So if it said just straight consecutive integer, it's add 1, add 2. If it's even or odd, it's add 2, add 4, add 6, add 8. So those are exactly the same. You'll set them up exactly the same. So don't get them confused because it says even and odd. All that's telling you to do is skip numbers. N plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6. All right. So when you do this work, you have to read. This one just says consecutive integers. 3 consecutive integers. So I'm going to start with the first one. What is the first one always represented by?
N.
N. And you can use X, it doesn't matter, whatever. If it's the consecutive integers, that's this first column. What's the second one going to be represented by? The first one is N. What is the second one going to be?
N plus 1.
N plus 1. So the second integer is going to be N plus 1. What's the third one going to be? Because we have to do 3 consecutive.
N plus 2.
Perfect. All right, so there's our 3 consecutive integers. That's this first part. We got that. What's it say?
Add.
Add them. So we're going to take those 3 in. We're going to add n plus 1. And we're going to add n plus 2. So all I did was put pluses in between both of these. Here's your first integer n. Here's your second integer n plus 1 and n plus 2. So we added all 3 of those. What do they add to?
-96.
And now it's just like the other day, okay? Everything is building on itself. So I have 3 n's, but I can't have 3 n's on the same side, so I'm going to put them together. So 1 n plus 1 n plus 1 n is 3 n. What is 1 plus 2?
3.
Equals -96. Now we're back to day 1. How do I solve this?
Subtract 3.
Perfect. Right here, this is the problem you guys are having. You have the correct work and you put the wrong answer right here. They're both negative. We're adding them together. So it stays negative. Remember, you only change the sign if you're multiplying. So -96 minus 3 is just like adding. So this would give you -99. If you need to use a calculator, please do that. But that right there is where your mistake's happening. A lot of you are putting +99 or you're putting -93, something that's not quite correct. But your work looks like this, okay? Finish it out by dividing by 3. And tell me what we get for n.
-33.
Perfect. What about, be careful on this one, n plus 1. Be careful, n plus 1.
-34.
Oh, wait.
Look at this. That means take n and add 1. What would that give you?
-34.
Are you sure?
-32.
-32. There you go. No worries. That's why I wanted to show you and make a big deal about it. Perfect. And then the next one is going to be that n plus 2. So that would be -33 plus 2, which would give you what?
-31.
Perfect. Now, sometimes they want all 3 and sometimes they'll specify which one. So this one says the largest. Which one is the largest number?
-31.
You are absolutely right. So we want the -31. Any questions? Okay, I don't expect you to get it the first time. Okay, so we're going to do it again. And then we'll do odd and even. And remember, odd and even are worked the exact same way. Okay, again, if you have questions, you need to ask them. For the next one, even though it says difficult, it's really not. It's just a lot of words. Okay. This time there are 2 consecutive integers. That means one of them is n. What would the second one be if it says just consecutive? Just consecutive. Not consecutive even, not consecutive odd, just consecutive. What do I do for the second one?
n plus 1.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit crazy. You have to read slowly, okay? Sometimes I have to read it real slow, so don't feel bad if you have to. All right, 2 consecutive integers right here. 4 times the smaller. Which one is the smallest, n or n plus 1?
N.
N. So how do I do 4 times that?
4n.
Perfect. So that's that one. It says plus, so what do I write?
Add.
And be careful. There's that less than I talked to you about, okay? There's that less than I talked to you about. 3 less than twice the larger. So when it's less than, that 3 has to go on the end. So we're going to hold off on that 3 for a minute. It says twice the larger. What does that mean? Twice the larger. If you do twice something, what does that mean?
Multiplying.
Multiply. And how can I show a multiply on this? What are some different ways? I know you can do the dot and you can do the star. What's another way to show multiply? If I'm going to multiply n plus 1 times 2, how can I write that?
2x.
No. That's multiplying 2 times the n, but I have to multiply it by all of it. Remember yesterday when we had those parentheses and we were multiplying? So this is twice the larger, 2 times n plus 1, because n plus 1 is the larger. Then I need to go back, and how do I write less than 3?
Minus 3.
Minus 3. And then it says is, so we put our equals, and what is it equal to?
71.
71. All right, so this is a long problem, a longer problem, but it's not hard, okay? It's just time. What is the first step that I do?
Multiply the 2 into the n and 1.
Make sure you multiply it to both. Some of you did not distribute to both yesterday. Okay, I got about 10 minutes left, but we're going to get it done, okay? Multiply your 2. Rewrite your minus 3 equals 71. Add your like terms. 4 plus 2 is 6n. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So you get 6n minus 1 equals 71. You're going to solve it. Add 1 to both sides. And then you're going to divide. What is 72 divided by 6?
12.
So that's your first one. To get your second one, remember we do n plus 1. What is 12 plus 1?
13.
It asked what are the 2 integers right here. What are the 2 integers? Those are your numbers. That's it. Okay, so the hardest part was writing that equation out. The solving should be easy at this point. All right, look at the next one. This one changes because it says 2 consecutive odd integers. 2 consecutive odd. So the first one is always n. If it says odd or even, what is your second one going to be?
N plus 2.
N plus 2, perfect. It says that those two numbers have a sum of 40. What does sum mean?
Add.
So we're going to add these, n plus n plus 2, and they're going to add to 40. So this is a super easy one. What is n plus n?
2n.
So 2n plus 2 equals 40. How do I solve?
Subtract the 2.
Subtract 2 from 40.
I get 2n equals 38. I don't want to squish it up. Sorry, y'all. And then we're going to divide. What is n going to give us?
14.
Not
Oh,
14.
no.
It's okay. It's okay.
16.
A little bit more.
19.
19. There you go. Remember, it's got to be odd. So you guys were giving me some evens, so we knew we weren't right. And that's a way to check yourself, okay? So n equals 19. What is n plus 2 going to be?
Twenty-one.
21.
19 plus 2 is 21. Okay. Again, the very last one that we're going to do, it talks about even integers, but it's 3 of them, and it's not hard. It's just going to kind of be like this one that was set up kind of crazy, okay? So the first one is always n. What's the second one gonna be?
N plus 2.
And the third one is gonna be n plus 4. All right, so I'm gonna read it to you. The sum of twice the smallest, 1 less than the middle, and 4 more than the largest is negative 15. So we're gonna add all these together. It says the sum of all of those. How do I do twice the smallest? Which one is the smallest?
N,
So how do I do twice that?
2n,
2n, 2 times that, so 2n. We're gonna add, be careful on this. How do I do 1 less than the middle? So this is the middle one. How do I do 1 less than that? Come on, guys.
n plus 2 minus 1,
Perfect. That minus 1 has to go on the end. And 4 more than the largest. What's 4 more mean?
add 4,
Add 4. So the largest was n plus 4. And I'm going to add 4. So that would probably be where you'd make the mistake because you already have the plus 4. So it's crazy. It repeats itself. Is negative 15. How many total n's do we have in this? We have 2 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Makes a total of
4.
Add your numbers. 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus 4 is 5. Plus 4 is 9. So a positive 9. Make sure you carry down the negative 15. How do I solve?
Subtract 9 from 15.
We get 4n equals, what is negative 15 minus 9?
Negative 24.
Perfect. Divide by 4. And we get n equals negative 6. So what would be n plus 2?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. And n plus 4 would be
Negative 2.
negative 2. Perfect. All right. I think there is actually one more page. Do you guys have one more page to your notes? Or is this all you have? You should have one more, right? Have y'all printed them?
I haven't printed them.
Okay, no worries, no worries. You guys can always go back and print the ones that are filled in. So what you'll see is you actually have another page, but I don't like this page at all. The only one that I like are the perimeter ones at the bottom. So I'm gonna set one up, but I'm not gonna solve it. What does perimeter mean?
The measurement around.
So what do you do if they give you those measurements to find the perimeter?
You add them all up.
Yeah, so this is just add. So this one says the perimeter is 46. So here's your rectangular garden. I always do like this. And again, I'm just setting this up. I got about 3 minutes, okay? The length is 7 less than 4 times the width. So to write this, remember that has to go in the back because it says less than. 4 times the width minus 7, 7 less than that. How would I represent the width on this side? They didn't tell me anything else.
Just a W.
Yeah, that's just the W. So if this side is W, what is this side?
W.
What's the bottom?
4W minus 7.
And then we just add all those up. So it's going to be a big, long number sentence. Here's your top, left, bottom, right. And it says it adds to the perimeter of 46. We have a total 8, 9, 10 W's. -7 minus 7 is -14. And then that's the equation that you would solve. So to ask for a perimeter, make sure that you just add all those, okay? So again, I have about 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's gonna cut out on me. If you stay in, it'll jump back in. So you just stay where you're at. If you're good to go, you can go ahead and go. If you're not, then stay here and we'll talk. Guys, if you have questions, please stay and talk and ask me. Don't email me in 5 seconds and say, I don't understand what you did in notes today. Now's the time to ask that. We don't have to have a private Zoom. We can talk right now. Most people leave. So again, if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask those. I'm going to stop the recording